a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, Alegria Munson here with the Expats Portugal show. How are you today on this Feelgood Friday? Hold on a minute, we can't take your call. Oh, I need to restart that. Hold on just a minute. Oh, that goes so well. Maybe it'll work this time. If it doesn't, I'll move on.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Bon dia, Alegria. Deagle here from Belfast. Hope you're all having a good day, Gumpers. And remember, every day is a Gumpers Day. Ciao, ciao.
Oh! How cool is that? Thank you very much, Deagle. Who's next? 00351 913 590 303. Oh my goodness! In the hurly-burly this morning, I've forgotten to put up the Feelgood Friday ticker tape and banner across the bottom. Do you know who's with me this morning? Do you know who joins me at 9 o'clock this morning? Jenny B, everybody! It's truly a Feelgood Friday. Look at this. After 9, we're joined. Let me see if last time's banner will work this time. Jenny B, well, we'll take a look at the other sides of changing our lives so drastically. Yes, of course, that will do. But she wants to ease the struggle of expatriation. When she first sent me a message about that, I thought she was trying to ease the struggles of exfoliation. No. Although we may take that into our stride and consideration today as well. I don't like the frizz on my green screen, just dealing with that as well. So many things unattended to, but now dealt with, I would say. Okay, so 00351 913 590 303 if you want to send me a WhatsApp message, as people have been doing. Now, do you remember the other day when Suze was in touch with us, and she said, thank you, by the way, for all your input, your comments, your chat, including this morning, where I know some of the chat has disappeared overnight. Earlier comments have disappeared. One such comment a few days ago from Suze was, what is that place that Vitor was talking about that has it all? The sea. What else? Castle, probably. Great food. I mean, we're not really narrowing down the search in Portugal, are we? We found it last night. Superb call last night on the webinar. Thank you so much to Ana Vieira, to Filomena Pascual, our dear friend from Feelgood Friday with Filomena, of course, and Joao F, who we often see in the comments here. Those three were fantastic last night. Really appreciate them and their input. And we had a great session last night. Oh, I think there's an incoming cup of tea as well. And a nice GMP mug. Thank you very much. Thank you very much there, Mrs. M. Appreciate that. She's not doing the thing this morning. I'll have to wait for my massage later on. Now, where was I? I set to several hairs coursing there, conversationally speaking, and I'm going to round them up at least before the end of the show at 10 o'clock. That gives me enough time to do that. So thank you last night, everybody who was on the webinar. Fascinating to hear from our Portuguese brother and sisters last night. Lots of things, their favorite places, their favorite food, and I will get the recording up online over the weekend. But yeah, favorite places, favorite food. Is immigration, generally speaking, a good thing for Portugal? That was fantastic, and they dealt with that question very well. And their top three tips, respectively, about their advice to us for moving and fitting in here in Portugal. So great job. Where am I going now? Back to Suze. Yeah, back to Suze. Suze asked the question. Yeah, that's what got me talking about those guys last night and the wonderful places in Portugal. Which wonderful place in Portugal, asked Suze, has it all in the north, as she thought? I'm not going to tell you the answer. I do know the answer, but I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm going to keep you guessing for a little bit longer, and I'm going to give you a visual clue. The visual clue is this. Which northern Portuguese town is this that allegedly has it all? And I don't think Suze is far off the mark. It doesn't have the hottest weather, but it does have hot days. So that might work for people who don't want to be in the blistering heat for 3 months of the year. Which place is this in northern Portugal that Suze has her eye on, that has it all, according to Vitor Costa, or according to conversations we've had with Vitor? We will solve that mystery later on. And we will have Jenny B at 9 o'clock this morning. Who's in this morning? Let's find out. I'm very excitable. I should remember to breathe this morning. 2 ducks in a row. I think T-Duck, who said that the earlier comments have disappeared, was right. He's also disappeared, by the way, and we'll be back before the end of the show. There you go. I'll miss the first part of the show today, but we'll be back before it's over. Got to pop down a shop, get myself the paper. This would not work in America, but something like my old man used to say. Got to just pop down the shop, get myself get the paper and the fags. This morning. Yes, of course, the daily newspaper and the cigarettes, the tobacco products, if he were posher. Deagle's here, as you heard on the answer phone and here in the chat as well. Bon dia, Carl and Gumpers from a grey Belfast, fresh with 8 degrees. Rain due, weather warnings Saturday and Sunday, heavy rain risk of serious flooding. Oh my goodness, that's what's happening in the UK, isn't it? Serious flooding risk. After the drought comes the flooding. Winds, risk of trees being brought down. Be careful over there. And a nice cost of living crisis tip from Deagle as well. Buy a new kettle. Save £10 a year on the cost of electricity. Thankfully, we have someone in the UK with a finger on the pulse. Boris told everyone apparently to buy a new kettle yesterday. They really are scraping that cost of living crisis money-saving barrel, are they not, right now? Buy a dog. Was that a few days before? One of the parliamentary, the prime ministerial candidates said, buy a dog. Good way of keeping warm. What? There's me talking about buying a dog and laughing like Muttley at the same time. Wow. Treat them with the contempt they deserve. Bon dia alegria, Gumpers, and treat them with love and respect at the same time. And that is a major feat, isn't it, with politicians? But yes, of course, they are fellow human beings. They should, of course, be afforded love, dignity, and respect, however hard that might be, but also a little bit of contempt to encourage them to be a little more understanding and be better at their jobs. Is that a global phenomenon, not directed at any particular government, but it works pretty well. Notable exceptions, please tell us about them in the chat. Bon dia, alegria, Gumpers, without starting a massive fight. You know what it's like when we talk about politics here. We lose people. Bon dia. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Bon dia, alegria, Gumpers. Ao fim de semana chego. What is that? At the end of a full week. Oh, okay. Yes, of course. Very good. And yes, you'll miss the start of the show, but be back later. But I can't resist reading these. I can't wait for your T-Duck to come back. You've seen them before because you sent them in yourself. This came to me this morning. We have what I wanted to say this morning to you all was good morning to you. Bon dia, alegria. You lovely chunks of star stuff. That is what you are. That is what I've been reminded of. And lots of things came together. Les's song of the week. Do you remember Les? This is Les. You old timers here, you veteran Gumpers will remember Les. He's a stamp collector. He was 90 last year, I think. Was it last year? Anyway, we helped him celebrate his 90th birthday, didn't we? And we encouraged people to send him stamps because he is a philatelist. And philately has got him everywhere by the sound of it, including Portugal. So there he is with his cat. And that's a screenshot of him singing his song of the week. You might have sent him stamps last year for his stamp collection. He did say, please don't send underwear. He is quite the star. He sings a song every week on the Facebook. And I was going to play you the video, but for some reason, maybe he's running like me. He's run into copyright issues. All in good faith, he was singing Dream a Little Dream of Me. What a tune. He was paying tribute to Doris Day, one of my favorite girls, he said, and I agree with him. I was listening to her version of it this morning. I was listening to the Mamas and the Papas version of it, but it brings together the star-studded, the star stuff theme of this morning, and I'm sure we'll have a moment when we've got a very special video to play for you that James brought to my attention. I was really surprised I hadn't seen, and that is, I can't remember the name of it. All I've got is video playback as the name of it, but it's got astrophysicists talking about their love of the cosmos, and you see the inspiration on their faces, and it's been set to their words have been set to the most beautiful piece of music, and it's fantastic. I'm going to share it with you, which reminds us that we are all connected and we're all made of star stuff. And of course, Jenny B will be reminding that in spades as well when she comes. And then Dream a Little Dream of Me. Stars shining high above you. Night breezes to seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree, dream a little dream of me. Say nighty-night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me. While I'm alone as blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. If you've just tuned in, don't worry. I'm not going to keep this up for much longer. But there is a star theme. You are made of star stuff. And I'm so glad to see you here this morning when there's an infinite number of things you could be doing. And here you are on the Expats Portugal show. Good morning, Portugal. Good morning to you. Okay, so let's see who else is here in the chat, shall we? Thank you for your call earlier on, Deagle. I think you can take the £10 a year saving on the cost of your electricity with a pinch of salt. Does that include the cost of buying the kettle? Okay, deep thought of the day then. That's where I got to, wasn't it? Talking of stars, you see, I told you there was a star-studded theme this morning. Deep thought of the day then from the T-Duck. Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves. I feel like weeping. That is so beautiful, J.M. Barrie. Of course, Sir James Matthew Barrie. Sir James Matthew Barrie. He was a Scottish novelist and playwright, best remembered as the creator of Peter Pan. Deep thought of the day then. Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves. Now, is it true for the people who bring rain to the lives of others? Maybe we shouldn't dwell on that. But if you're bringing thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening indeed, to the lives of others, you might be experiencing that yourself as well. And you may, I had a lovely chat with Deagle yesterday. We had a chat, caught up on the phone, and it was so lovely to see you in real life, Deagle. You had only been a figment of my digital imagination up until that point yesterday. Great to talk to you. And he is an incredible man. You are, Deagle, and you are somebody who brings sunshine to the lives of others, and clearly you cannot keep it from yourself. Thank you very much for that, T-Duck. That is so beautiful this morning. From J.M. Barrie, then. Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves. Oh, Portuguese saying of the day. I like this as well. These two, which he sent, I think, at some ungodly hour this morning, and then resent them because his comments had disappeared. Scored it out, YouTube. Cavalo que vão não quer a espora. A horse which flies does not want a spur. Now, I'm living proof of this. I had a very interesting conversation with a very dear friend yesterday who totally inspired and energized me. And the result was this morning, I got out of bed without an alarm clock. It's another way of looking at this Portuguese saying, isn't it? Cavalo que vão não quer a espora. A horse which flies does not want a spur. A man inspired does not need an alarm clock to get him out of bed. That was me this morning. I am told, don't do the dad jokes without the dad joke warning. So there you go. You have been warned. Dad jokes, now they're coming up. I told my physical therapist. Okay, physical therapist. I hear Americans saying this. It's a physiotherapist, isn't it, in other parts of the world? We're talking about the same person. And I think you refer to them as your PTs, don't you? I told my physical therapist that I broke my arm in 2 places. He told me to stop going to those places. Thank you very much. Some nice dad joke. A very good dad joke last night from Jerry. What was Jerry's dad joke? Can't remember now, but it was a cracker. That's a cracker, Jerry. Nothing is made in the USA these days. I bought... Sorry, I didn't even get to the end of the joke before laughing there. Nothing is made in the USA these days. I bought a TV that says built-in antenna. I don't even know what that is. And I finally, which may be a relief to some, I used to be addicted to soap, but I'm clean now. Yes, thank you very much. An excellent triplet of dad jokes there. Superb. Thank you very much, T-Duck. And the slug is here this morning. You were on the call last night. Still a little bit sniffly and snuffly. Big old slug hug to you then, my friend. You're not over it just yet, are you? But make the effort to join us, Joao, Philomena, and Anna last night. And a lovely group of people wanting to learn how to be a great immigrant, expat, foreigner, and getting a few tips from that esteemed Portuguese panel. Thank you for being there, James, and your input as well. Bom dia, you say. Bom dia, Gampas. Feliz sexta a todos. Como estão? Agora mesmo. What is that then? So how are you doing? Now the same. That's an interesting turn of phrase. I've not seen that one before. Agora mesmo. Please explain if you have enough energy to, James. A bit of a rogue eyebrow there. Isn't it terrible when you use your own live stream image as your mirror? Maybe I should use a mirror first before using the live stream as a mirror, if you see what I mean. Lord, the money. This is Will Rogers' quote of the day then. Lord, the money we do spend on government Okay. Lord, the money we do spend on government, and it's not one bit better than the government we got for 1/3 of the money 20 years ago. Deserves one of those. Okay, fantastic. The regulars are in. The T-Duck thoughts of the day and deep thoughts of the day. The Portuguese saying, dad jokes, Will Rogers quote of the day, and of course, excellent conscientious service from Coach Turner as well. We have a God Squad tip of the day and a video on its way to us showing how to do those exercise Kama Sutra things that he's been talking about this week. The last of the core exercises then. So it's been core on the floor. The last of the core exercises today. Thank you so much, Ian, Coach Turner, for these. Our God Squadron leader, a growing old disgracefully, gentle fitness tips for bon viveurs. Here's the last of the core exercises. Then the side plank variation. Wow. Lie on your side. For some people, that in itself is just going to be quite a lot of exercise, isn't it? So lie on your side. I suggest you maybe want to do this on an intermediate platform if lying on the floor might be difficult for you. So maybe on your bed. Let's see if that's going to be possible. And actually, if you do this lying on the bed and your amour walks in, you know, who knows what might happen? Just a little bit of extra value there from me on the God Squad tip of the day. So the side plank variation, lie on your side, resting on your forearm and your elbow. Raise your hip up. Raise your hips up so the body is in a straight line. Okay. Hold for 5, then back down. Hold on a minute. If you're lying on your side, resting on your forearm, aren't your hips and body already in a straight line? I wonder. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one. But give it a go. But if it hurts, stop. And take it easy. Okay, repeat if you get that far. Build up to 10 times on each side. Oh my God, reps. Build up on 10 times on each side. Great for toning the muscles that help you balance. Well, very good. But I think I need to see the pictures. Thank you very much. And Ian actually did go out and bought 3. He went out and bought 3 kettles yesterday so that he can save the. Wow, that didn't get past you, did it? Very canny, Coach Turner. Very, very good. Not just fitness tips, economic tips as well, money-saving tips as well. Oh, look, thank you, Coach. Look at this. Baddies in. Bon dia, Agria from a chilly Iceland. I cannot wait to get back. Okay, so it's a little bit cold for you over there in Iceland. It is. The clue is in the name, Baddie. I hope you don't mind me saying Iceland. There isn't anywhere on the planet called Hotland, is there? If somebody's missed a trick there, a tourist board has missed a trick. Come to Hotland. Guess what? It's nice and warm. And I know someone's going to say to me, actually, Carl, there is a Hotland. It's not literally called Hotland, but Swahili for hot is Land, and therefore there is a Hotland. Okay, clever dickies. And look, 4 ducks in a row from Moaz there for T-Duck. Bon dia then to you, Moaz, and to you, Stephen. Bon dia to you, and bon dia to Gumpers. Everywhere from Brian Taylor as well. Yes, Moaz says, the earlier comments have disappeared. I posted a comment last night saying, Boa noite, Carla todos. I'll be back after 9 hours. Yeah, whatever. No, I'm sure you did there, Moaz. And I don't know what happened. I really don't. I just want YouTube to sort it out so that the Gumpers are not inconvenienced in this way. It's outrageous. We would write to our MPs if we thought it made any difference. Lisa M, happy Friday to everyone. Lisa, hello. Is it Jenny that's bringing you here this good morning? I wonder. Great chat yesterday. It was lovely to talk to you, and I'll play your message at the end of the show again today because it's got the whistling on it that people are missing the whistling. So we'll do that this today, not this afternoon. We're not going to be here till this afternoon. No. Did you notice the accent on the O in your name? My finger got tired. Erotic novel entry, I think. There, erotic novel alert. Antonio, did you notice the accent on the O in your name? My finger got tired. Well, very good. Antonio F is here. Look, I see you now. And yes, you've got lots of O's this morning, so to speak. Okay, we have Brian Taylor's message then. This will be my last visit to the show this month. I don't mind you saying that on or around the 30th or the 31st, but flipping heck, it's only the 2nd of September, and you're not going to be here for the rest of the month. Boo! I don't have a boo button. I've got an applause button, but not a boo button. What's going on? I've got trading courses all month So I won't be able to attend. We'll miss you all. Okay, but we wouldn't mind a few top trading tips. If you could feed them to us from the course, that would be fantastic. Brian, good luck with that. I hope it does you much good. And maybe you can join us on the show with a summation, a condensation of all that you've learned, maybe when you come back from that. Okay, bon fin de semana. What's she taking? It's already past 9 a.m. No, it's not past 9 a.m. where I am and on my clock. Unless, yeah, a weird, like I said to you earlier on this morning, or on the show, I woke up before my alarm clock and it said 1 hour to go until my alarm clock was going to go off. Because I was awake and inspired and I had ideas flowing thick and fast. And who doesn't like it thick and fast first thing in the morning? Anyway, there I was looking at my alarm clock thinking, hold on a minute, I'm up an hour before the alarm. And then I saw that the alarm was set for an hour later than it should be. So maybe I just woke up at the normal time thinking that I'd woken up early, which it was basically the thought process. But maybe that is true. Maybe it is actually 10 to 10 now. And it is already past 9. Can we have some confirmation on this, please? Have we got an official timekeeper in this community? So what's happening? Am I right? Is it 8:52 or is Megine right? Is it after 9 o'clock already? Bon fin de semana, everyone! From Francis, thank you very much for that. Bit noisy, but okay. Who joins you, Carl? Jenny. Yes, she brings the joy to joining, doesn't she, on a Feelgood Friday with the Jenny B from HoliHealthy, whichever way you want to look at it. And PT Country Bear, bon dia, from Salguero de Lomba. Now, PT Country Bear, I think I'm a bit confused. I know you under a different name possibly as well. Can you remind us, if you want to, that is, who under what other name I might know you? And thank you, PT Portugal Country Bear. Appreciate that. Sorry, I couldn't come to last night's seminar. First of the month is always my favorite, but I had a date and the date won. Okay, I'm wondering, you're not talking about the dried fruit variety of date, are you? And you were overcome by a piece of dried fruit. Of course, you should go on a date. That is the guy code, isn't it? Between you and me, man to man, brother to brother, Brian. Yeah, if it's me or a date that's in the running, other contenders, you should always go on the date. Put love first. Now, I don't know if it got that far, and you may or may not wish to say it. When I saw that the date had won, I just did think you might have got past first base, if you know what I mean. No, you don't have to say anything. Is it Viana de Castelo? That's a good guess. Not only a good guess, it is actually the right and correct guess. That's the top answer. Yes. Very, very good, Lisa M. That, of course, is Viana de Castelo, which it sounds like you may have visited as well. So can we give it the title, though? To you, Lisa, is this the town that has it all in Portugal? I wonder. Now, that will be a very stiff competition, and who doesn't? Yes, etc., etc. But Viana de Castelo, the Portuguese town that has it all, certainly for Suze, and I'll tell you why, if I can find a message. Do it for Christmas is a message I'm seeing. Wow. I'll come back to that. Suze, where are you in this immense sack, this mailbag of mine here? I might even have to do a search at this rate. Oh, here we go. Viana de Castelo is the city, Vitor said. It has it all. Okay, so Vitor did actually say that as a quote. Thanks to my pal Jean in Minnesota who watched the replay. Who came up with that. Airport is not 5 minutes away, but train to Porto is 1 hour. Okay, so yeah, I was saying, wasn't I, that some people might have the town that has everything is very close to the airport, but Porto is an hour. I'm sure somebody said it like that last night. Porto is an hour away. Camino de Santiago passes through it, and it is one of the rainiest cities in Portugal. Okay, so that is having it all for Suze. It is one of the rainiest cities. That sounds appealing to me right now. I am sunned out. That will be over there in Vancouver, right? It was 32 degrees for Suze. She doesn't like it that hot. So VDC it is for Suze and possibly for Lisa, who guessed that correctly. Thank you for that. Lisa. We'll have Jenny B joining us in about 5 minutes. Elena Sunflower, bless you with your Elena Sunflower name there. Bon di Algria from you. And Suzanne is in as well. Maybe lots of people coming to see Jenny this morning. I'm not going to take it personally that you're only joining because of Jenny and not me. Bon dia, maybe I did take it a little bit personally. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said that in the first place. Bon dia from Washington, D.C. from Suzanne. How are you doing, Suzanne? And Antonio working the room. That's fantastic. Antonio, you were missing from that lineup last night, and hopefully you'll be able to join us one day in that webinar scenario, because I'm sure you'll have lots to give as well. And thank you so much. I did thank the Philomena, Anna, and Joao F for being so giving of their time and energy and kindness and love, which was talked about last night. Thank you to those three, and I will include you in that as well, Antonio. Thank you so much for what you do for our community as well. Bon dia then. I thought we'd already done that, Lisa. A beautiful cat. Also love Doris Day. Yeah, stars shining high above you. She always makes me laugh. Yeah, whip crack away, whip crack away, whip crack away. Oh, the Deadwood stage is coming on over the hill. Symphony of Science. We are all connected. You have a treat to come. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that as soon as Jenny arrives. And it's very possible that we will all be in tears of inspiration and joy at that point. Okay, so grab the Kleenex, everybody. And I think is what you Americans say, isn't it? I don't think we see Kleenex, do we? Of all the brands you might miss, that might be one of them. But yes, the tissues, the Kleenex. I think there might be a bit of tears of joy when I play that at 9. And of course, we have Jenny B joining us after that. As ferias terminaram, trabalho à vista e aturam 150 diabinhos now in nada fácil. I don't know what so there's the holidays finish. The holidays are finished. Work is back. And 150 diabinhos. Are you a nurse possibly, and you run a diabetic clinic? I don't think it's that, is it? I don't think you're working with 150 diabetics today. Please help. Carl Sagan, Richard Feynman, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Bill Nye will be joining us. Now, if some of you find those two at the end, especially a little bit smug, I have to say I do from time to time. I'm going to present them to you in a new light. Well, someone else has presented them to you in a new light. And I had to overcome my prejudices about Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye, who I do find a little bit smug. Scientists can be like that, can't they? They think they know it all because that's been their life's work. They're paid to know it all, aren't they? So sometimes they actually believe that, and they come across as a little bit, a little bit too big for their boots, a little bit too full of themselves. But I got to tell you, don't let that put you off. We will see Carl Sagan and Richard Feynman, Feynman is that. I find those first two a lot more palatable, but all four of them together in this wonderful video, which I'll play you when Jenny arrives, is just so lovely. I think I need to check maybe that Jenny is not having a stress attack because I haven't sent her the link this morning. Let's just have a quick look on Messenger to make sure she knows where she's coming this morning. And what's this? Slug, I just like acting like a silly little kid. Moaz, okay. What's he been up to in the chat then? Okay, I think we're okay with Jenny as well. What's this? What is an SOSQ? Is that some sort of scientific quote of the day? Okay, I've got scientific quote. Slug's original science quote. The cosmos is also within us, or as you Americans say, cosmos. The cosmos. And look, I'm talking about the cosmos being with us. Jenny B is right behind the scenes. And she will be with us directly, presently. We are made of star stuff. The cosmos is also within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Stop it! You're getting me welling up already. We are going to be in pieces. I tell you, by the time this video is finished, I'm tearing up already. Stop it, Slug. Why would that do that to me? You said once that you don't see emojis. So I do you see. Can anyone else hear that in here? Okay. I don't know what that was. Some celestial. I don't know what that is. It's so spooky though. There is something There is something playing inside the room here, and I've gone all blurry. I think this might be an actual. This is some sort of otherworldly phenomenon. There are celestial sounds playing, and I've gone all blurred. I don't know what's happening. Jenny B may have to take over the show. Okay, so I do you see these emojis? YouTube, oops, emoji of Santa and a laughing emoji. These from my computer. Well, it's stopped now, hasn't it? But I'm still blurred. Okay, let me see if I can sort that out with a little bit of magic. Oh, how weird is that? Okay, let me put on an image. There's the cat again, and Les, who accidentally, so not like he was accidentally, coincidentally, he came to my birthday party, which I celebrated with Kate and Jay, who you might know, and then Les turned up. And he celebrated his birthday with us. I guess he must have been 91. So there he is with his cat, trying to sing Dream a Little Dream of Me. That wasn't possible. I'm not going to be able to bring that to you this morning. But there he is with his cat by way of some sort of consolation prize. Nice one, Les. We'll try and bring your song of the week to our lovely Gumpers next week. No, still blurred. Do you prefer it like that? I've got to say, do you prefer it like this? Some people mightn't they? Or they might be thinking, this is some sort of terrorist video where I've been blurred out. Oh my goodness, that is a real unexpected item in the bagging area. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch from one camera. There you go. I'll give you.
Hi, folks. I don't know why, but Carl is gone now. There he
Well,
is.
that was fun. I thought you might have to do the show on your own this morning. Good morning, Celestial Jenny B. How are you?
Good morning.
Jenny, I honestly don't know what was playing the music.
It was so funny.
It was like childhood nursery music coming from somewhere in the room. And then I went all blurred as though I was having a regression session, possibly. Nursery,
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, weird.
You know what?
What?
That must have been Cosmos talking to you.
I think so. What, blurring me?
Blurring you and giving you these sounds. Maybe that was
Yeah.
the universe speaking to you directly. It's just a language that is hard for us to understand.
You're right. We don't speak universe, do we? It has to.
Not yet. We do deep inside. We do. It's just that with all these words, we are so confused.
I'll drink to that, even if it only is tea.
Good call. Huh?
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. How are you, Jenny B?
Good. I'm good. I'm really appreciating. That might sound super weird now, but for those who already live a while in Portugal, they might understand that I appreciate that it gets a bit colder.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So
You can
there you
actually
are.
move throughout the day again.
Yes, fair enough. So there you are in central Portugal. What you've been enjoying 30 plus, or I used enjoying in inverted commas there, but it's been 30 plus for quite a lot of the summer for you then, presumably.
Yeah. So now it's started to be, let's say, I think today or the last couple of days we had 29, something like that.
Yes.
And yeah, that was a lot better. Like I said, it's only giving the ability to move throughout the day without actually feeling completely better afterwards.
Yeah, sure. And it can sound quite spoilt, can't it? To those people who want to come to Portugal for the heat, and you're thinking, enough already, give me some rain. It does. We need it. We need balance, don't we? We definitely need balance. And there's nothing like a beautiful, hot, sunny central Portugal day when you're in the mood for it. It's magnificent, isn't it? Absolutely magnificent. But after 100 days of it, it can grate a little bit. So I'm glad to see you're well and hear that you're well there, and you're glad of the lower temperatures. I've put this on the screen. We may have gone past the early bird offer, have we not?
That's true. Yeah.
So I need to change that. All right. I've got mine. Did you get my order for a couple?
Yes.
Okay, very good. I want my. This is what I'm using as my show planner as well. They're so good. I recommend that people get those. So before I put that on the screen again, I'll just put your email address there. Which you've very thoughtfully done as well. Okay, so that people know who you are. so that you know who you are if you become entirely cosmic and you forget your earthly identity. I'm just going to put that on the screen for you. You are Jenny B, and thank you very much for being here. And you might have to remind me as well from time to time, because I think it's going to get cosmic now. Sometimes we have a little bit of an inspired and joyful weep. I don't want to set it up too much, but this might happen this morning. May I play a little video to you that
you're gonna make me cry again.
It's you that does it to me, I think, rather than vice versa. But welcome to the show this morning. Right, we are going to be talking about the struggle of expatriation. As I said before, I thought you were talking about the struggle of exfoliation. I was thinking, why does she want to talk about that? Depilation and exfoliation on the show. I mean, there's a place for everything, and there's a time and a place for everything, but I didn't think that was necessarily your niche or niche. It was just unusual to see the word expatriation, which of course is the full form, isn't it, of expat. Very good. So the struggles of expatriation, we like to touch upon the subject mainly from the point of view of helping people with the struggle and the other side, the shadow side, the dark side of moving to Portugal. Despite how I often am as the Pollyanna of Portugal, never having a bad word to say, of course, it'll be unrealistic to imagine that there aren't difficulties in settling in the new country. And in fact, Jenny, look, somebody sent me this message from a fairly reliable source. Apparently 30 to 40% of Americans move back home in the first year. I was quite stunned by that, I have to say. But then when I thought about it, it did make sense. So we will do what we can to help you this morning, maybe to change that figure a little bit. It is tough. It is tough moving to a new country. It's not all pastel de natas and blazing hot sunshine. So, but there are so many. I mean, it's a great place to be unhappy. I've got to say that. Ideally, we want in the Johari window, we want you to be happy and hot, not just hot and unhappy. So that video then, now we've set that up, that's what we'll be talking about later. But this is a great way to set things up this morning. Let's just have a quick memory jog that we're all connected with the wonderful gentlemen who are Feynman, Sagan, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Bill Nye, I think is the other one. 4 minutes of this. Sit back, enjoy it, let your heart soak this up, if you will.
We're all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, to the rest of the universe atomically.
I think nature's imagination is so much greater than man's. He's never gonna let us relax.
We live in an in-between universe where things change alright, but according to patterns, rules, or as we call them, laws of nature.
I'm this guy standing on a planet. Really, I'm just a speck. Compared with a star, the planet is just another speck. To think about all of this, to think about the vast emptiness of space. There's billions and billions of stars, billions and billions of specks.
The beauty of a living thing is not the atoms that go into it, but the way those atoms are put together. Cosmos is also within us. We're made of star stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself.
Across the sea of space, the stars are others. We have traveled this way before, and there is much to be learned.
We're all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, to the rest of the universe atomic.
I find it elevating and exhilarating to discover that we live in a universe which permits the evolution of molecular machines as intricate and subtle as we.
I know that the molecules in my body are traceable to phenomena in the cosmos. That makes me want to grab people in the street and say, have you heard this?
The beauty of a living thing is not the atoms that go into it, but the way those atoms are put together. The cosmos is also within us. We're made of star stuff. We are a way. The cosmos to know itself.
There's this tremendous mass of waves all over in space, which is the light bouncing around the room, going from one thing to the other, and it's all really there, really there. But you gotta stop and think about it, about the complexity, to really get the pleasure. It's all really there, really there. The inconceivable nature of nature. To think about all of this, to think about the vast emptiness of space. There's billions and billions of stars, billions and billions of specks.
The beauty of a living thing is not the atoms that go into it, but the way those atoms are put together. The cosmos is also within us. We're made of spark stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself.
Across the sea of space, the stars are others. We have traveled this way before, and there is much to be learned.
Symphony of Science. Jenny, I reached into my pocket for a tissue, and all I had was a dog poo bag. That hurts. Thankfully, it's not a used one.
And now I called you that you actually use the bags from the supermarket as dog poo bags.
Now, did you enjoy that?
I did. And you know what? It's so beautiful. It reminds me of a poem that I think posted 2 days ago or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know it. It's from Charlie Chaplin. It's The Love of Oneself. And the last verse is about that we don't need to be afraid of any conversations or arguments that we have with other people or with ourselves, because even stars collide, and
Wow.
all that comes out of it is new life. So
Wow.
here
Oh
we
my-
are,
That's beautiful,
all
isn't it?
being part of that stardust. And you know what? I also thought it's so beautiful because that, as a lot of people know already by now, I guess, that I'm so passionate about nature and helping people to connect with themselves through nature, that this was so beautiful because I thought that really helps everyone to understand that we are a part of nature, as we are all stardust, and that if we deny that, we deny a big part of ourselves.
Yeah.
And how can you ever become to peace within yourself, with the world, if you actually deny being a part of all that?
Well said.
So,
Said.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's not a judgment, is it, or an accusation?
No.
It's just, you know, in fact, you could say it's science, couldn't you? As we've just heard, it's a scientific fact, isn't it? Let's follow the science.
You know, I always say quantum physics for primary school, because if we would help people to understand all that so
Yes.
much earlier, then also life will become so much easier. Because I just spoke about it with friends a couple of days ago, that differentiation between you yourself as just being stardust, shaped to atoms, shaped to this human form, and then being able to detach from your own thoughts that so often are actually causing us a lot of turmoil throughout our daily lives.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if there's one thing you can control in your life, it's your thoughts.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, I mean, some people don't know that, do they? Some people are really overcome. I mean, you know, to me, my experience of depression is not being able to control your thoughts. It gets to a kind of chronic situation, doesn't it? But you know, I can also say that I am able to do that as well, and it is possible. and the results kind of speak for themselves, I suppose, don't they? There is an option, there is a possibility of having that, at least that one thing that you can control in your life. Yeah,
Exactly.
well said, Jenny. Maybe we can find that Charlie Chaplin quote at some point and share it with everybody. But that's
I
beautiful.
can send it if you want.
Yeah, the best. Thank you. Yeah, while you're finding that, then. So that was Carl Sagan, Richard Feynman, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Bill Nye. And the slug brought that to my attention. So big old slug hug for you, not in real life. Got a bug of some sort. 6 foot, please, mister. I tell you what, if I was with you, I'd probably hug you anyway, despite that, because I'm made of star stuff and these little earthbound viruses don't bother me. Thank you very much for the person who put that together as well. Symphony of Science, I think it's called. Could be a copyright strike, but well worth it in my view. It might be that stays in the show, but has to be muted, which is a very smart thing that YouTube are doing now, so that inspiration can be shared like that. And that people needn't be penalized or get their knickers in a twist about it. Fantastic. Superb, Slug. Thank you very much for that. Jim is in. We're talking about the struggle of expatriation and exfoliation this morning. Bon dia campus from Jim. The Porky Feet Andy is in. Hola, bon dia. Bon fin semana todos from the beautiful Bairrada this morning. Well done. And planking. Elena's already done her daily 1 minute plank. Do you do that in a special place for added value? Elena, I wonder. We were talking about naked exercise. I'm not asking you that specifically. Wouldn't want to put you on the spot like that. But naked exercise was a very interesting theme that we developed this week. Sarah, thank you so much, Sarah, for your message this morning. Now, you have a language challenge for us, Sarah, today. And it will be, you've shared your love, haven't you, for the band HMB, which is, I can't remember the gentleman's first name, but it's the Marrakesh, H Marrakesh band. And you suggest that maybe as a language challenge, learn to sing at least the chorus of HMB's O Amor é Assim for Valentine's Day. Plenty of time and really the best love song ever. Now that's high praise, and I'm sure you're right. Sure enough, see you soon, you say as well. So we will see you at the meetup at some point soon. Best love song ever. I want to see that because there's quite a few contenders for that title, but I'm sure you're right that it is incredible. O Amor é Assim for Valentine's Day. Do it for Christmas. Do it every Tuesday. Truly the best love song ever. Thank you for that tip. O Amor é Assim. There we go. I'm going to put that in the chat because I don't think people are allowed to put YouTube links into the chat. It doesn't work very well. So let me just put that for everybody who wants to hear Sarah's estimation of the best love song ever, and we could learn to sing it maybe together by Christmas or by next Tuesday, which would be her preference, I think. Let's say a few hellos, shall we, then, Jenny? Sorry, you were going to say something there?
No, all good. I was just laughing.
Bright Spirits. You've been given another name this morning. That sounds right, doesn't it? And Pamela's here as well. Hey, Pamela, how are you this morning? Wasn't it Deagle who shared the video of a man filling buckets from the faucet, and then pouring them into the reservoir in an effort to relieve? It might have been Deagle who sent us that in the first place. Jenny from Lisa. Morning. Iceland. Really, Baddy is in Iceland. We used to have a Portuguese guy who posted comments in Portuguese and translated it to English. It was really nice. I think we still have that, don't we? Help my Portuguese. Excuse me. It's past 9 a.m. everywhere in the world except this time zone. Is that right? No, that's not right, is it? Let's ask those scientists, those astrophysicists, if we can get them back into gravity. They were so inspired during that. Those lovely faces of inspired astrophysicists. 1 a.m. here may not last long, says Lisa. Okay, so way past 9 a.m. Approaching a new one, in fact. Carl, there's a place in South Africa called Hot as Hell. It's very warm there. It's hot as hell. Okay. Yay, says Lisa. And hello, everyone. Hola, everyone from Jess as well this morning. Brian Taylor did leave, but for a good reason, I think. Good morning. Connie's in as well, somewhere here this morning. And I may have said it before, but never enough. I love Feelgood Fridays with Jenny. So the love vibe strong, the disturbance in the love force being felt in Eddie Sarah this morning. Oh, Pete, Portugal Country Bear is Marcus Lawrence. Bill Morrow is my husband, and we live in a small mountain village near Figueira de Beach. Now it all makes sense. Thanks for that, Marcus. Great to have you here. Elena is not a diabetic nurse. She is a teacher. Have you got 150 students, though, today? Good morning, everyone from Midumad. No, she sent a message earlier on. I don't know if you, whether your Portuguese is up to this, with a message from Elena earlier on. Diabinhos, was she talking about? Here it is. So the holidays are over. Work has begun. E aturam 150 diabinhos. Do you know what diabinhos? I thought it was diabetics. That she had a diabetic clinic of 150 diabetics. Okay,
That's funny. I like your interpretation.
Okay. I mean, that's first day back at work. 150 diabetics waiting for you in the waiting room. It's not funny. I just don't know what is being said there. Look at this. Dubai is 140 degrees. The low is 75.24. Now this is searing heat, but in a month from now we will have gorgeous weather for months. Yeah, I guess you got to take those highs to get those gorgeous lows, relatively speaking. There must be amazing, mustn't it? I'm just saying bon dia, but did have to go to work in a minute. Bon fin de semana todos. She's off to do some voluntary work, I think. Well done, Pam. Keep up the good work. And look at this, Jenny. Bon dia todos. I think Amelie is now in Portugal. We counted down with her on a journey from Korea, and here she is in Portugal with us. Fantastic. And apparently, when I went blurred, it looked like Stephen had taken his glasses off. It was me, not you. Michelle Liminer. Joao F, I think, gave me some pronunciation notes on this. Liminer. Hi, Carlos, and everyone. Hello, Michelle. Great to have you here. And we'll catch up and start talking about the struggles of exfoliation in just a moment. The cosmos speaks an intuitive language. There you go. It does. That's what you were saying, wasn't it? Hidden under all those layers of linguistic complexity. Mm-hmm. But we need those as well, don't we? Our lives are made of language, aren't they? It's amazing when you think about that. Moaz, welcoming people to Carl's show. Thank you, Midumad. He's one of the monitors. James and Moaz are our special welcoming monitors. And we could do that thing one day that, was it the welcome wagon? We need our virtual welcome wagon, please, James and Moaz, as outlined by Wiley yesterday. Bon dia, great gumpers. Hello, Cindy. Great to have you as well, love. Good to see you. Hello, Cindy B from Lisa as well then. Huge expat community, mostly British in Dubai, and many of them want to migrate to Dubai as well. The Brits there, saving tax, I think. Jenny! There you go. From Francis this morning. And Moaz thought about starting a Dubai group in the forum, but I've been told there are Facebook groups and people rarely go. How dare you, Moaz? Just watch. Start one over there, Moaz, and that will get people going to the forum, including you. Just watch and feel the passion of these astrophysicists. Yes, who doesn't like to feel the passion of an astrophysicist first thing in the morning? We certainly did. Very surprised, so close to Lisboa. Well done, Amelie. I lost your earlier comment, but it is Feelgood Friday, I think, especially for you. You are in Lisbon, you're in Portugal. Well done. Oh, and she's landed on her feet. Took less than 20 minutes to get here. Found Aldi. Well, that's the important things in life, isn't it? That might come in. That's one expat struggle dealt with immediately. Other than that, time will tell. Yes, close to Lisbon by train to spend free time. There are a few gardens, parks, namely by the creek, and a Neolithic monument. Oh, well, I missed where you said you were. Wow. I think that was for the video there. Great video, says Suzanne. The person who made this video is so talented. They are, aren't they? And props to them. I just don't know who they are. A symphony of science. What is the universe trying to tell you, Carl? The poop bag in your pocket. Okay, so over to you, Jenny B. You want to talk about the struggles of expatriation, but what is the universe trying to tell me? Could you decode this for me, please? What would be your first intuitive guess at that?
That was so funny. I just thought, now it's getting interesting. Now you pass on the word to me. Yeah, we were all so excited to hear that message. What you experienced through that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe crying is shit for you. No.
Okay, thank you. How much do I owe you?
80 euros, please.
80 euros, outstanding. Very, very good value.
It's a bargain.
Send me the invoice. Well, okay. So, what's been on your mind, Jenny? We last time we talked about, after the luggage comes the baggage. We're continuing this theme. You saw that statistic: 30 to 40% of Americans apparently return home.
Yes.
What is going on, and how can we help?
I saw that, and we behind the scenes we spoke about this more often. So I thought, let's really get into this. It can't be the fact that so many people are leaving, and that's not saying they haven't tried enough. I'm just wanted to take the chance to tickle people a bit, to think about why they actually want to leave the country they're in and have chosen the country they want to go. In our case, it's Portugal, but it can be any country, really.
Yes, of course.
Just a matter of physically deplacing you. And it can be even just moving down the road or whatever, even inside the country. But the thing is, what happens very often is that we are unsatisfied with the situation we're living in. And then we think, oh, if we just move to a different country, it will all be different.
Yeah.
But what happens then most of the time is, for a certain time, it's like, yay, pastel de nata, yay, beaches, yay, Sagres, all that, exactly. And at some point, you can't run away from yourself. You bite yourself in the back. And here we are, same struggle, same shit, different days, basically. So you're thinking, how come now I'm in Portugal? It was supposed to be all better. So how come all this is happening to me again? And in everyone's life, there is this red string that of reoccurring things that come and over again. And that might be, why do I always pick these assholes in a relationship? That might be, why don't people understand me every time, I really express what I want, but nobody understands me, so I just stop expressing it. There can be, for some reason, I really try to connect with people. At the end, I'm still sitting alone at home. There can be all sorts of different stuff. And if that happens, it's not the country. It's not anything in the outside. I'm sorry to disappoint you there. It's you.
Oh, Jenny, how could you do this to us?
Wait, I'll do it with bubbles. Then it might be easier.
Yeah, and a bit of music. Let's make it a bit easier for everybody, shall we? Okay.
So I'm sorry, but it's you.
Sorry, but it's not.
Sorry, but it's you.
It's not me. It's you.
But you can happily pay me to tell you that. No
you got it. If you need to hear it again, you know where she is. You've got
there's my email address.
Wow.
Just reach out. But that's the thing. What so often, it's so easy for us to blame things in the outside, and that's no accusation to everyone. That's just simply the fact how we learn that that's how life goes. If I'm not happy, it must be something in the outside. Maybe it's my car, maybe it's my husband, must be my kids, it's the job. Must be the job then.
Yeah.
And they have their impacts, of course, to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, if you are aware of yourself and of your own needs and desires, then you simply choose to follow them and not the other stuff that's frustrating you. And here we are. This is how you create a happy, fulfilled life. Because all that what we learn about happiness is, you need to buy this product and then you're super happy. And if you have this, then you're super happy. And if you have that, that means you are successful. And again, what is happy? What is successful? That are actually all very subjective expressions, isn't it? Because for me, they can look completely different than to you. For example, for me, the greatest thing is being out in the nature with my dogs. That doesn't cost me nothing. And that's again kind of comes back to the video where we've been. So often we think, the more things cost, the more value they have for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But very often we don't understand that the most valuable things are actually free.
Yes.
So no matter where we are in the world, we're not going to come around to introspect and to reflect what it is that I truly want. Because very much often we have just missed to express that towards ourselves and towards other people. And then this equation will always end up in frustration. So whatever comes after moving countries, and usually it's just like starting anything new. At the beginning, it's all like, yay! And you don't think about anything of the, let's say, discomfortable stuff, of the frustrating stuff. It's just not there for a while because you're distracted from all the new stuff. And that's fine. Really enjoy the ride. Just be aware that there might be another depth. And that's also fine, because just like you were saying, we need to see the one, or we need to have the one, otherwise we won't be able to see the other. So what is all that? For some people, it's hard to experience happiness in that how it is transported through the media, for example, because they have just never experienced really crazy sadness. And that's also fine, bless you. But it's always this balance again, and there is no one thing without the other. You always need both polarities, and that's the same thing within ourselves. We have both polarities. We are just humans, and humans can be really beep holes. So
Thank you for that.
I'm learning.
Yes.
And at the same time, deep down inside of us, we are all stardust, we're all loving souls, and we all just seek the same thing. We all want harmony, we all want peace, we all want love. But the truth is, if you look at nature, even nature can be pretty rough and pretty tough. But that doesn't mean that that happens without love or with hate. For example, mosquitoes, they don't bite you because they think, now I'm going to get her. She's a little shit.
It's not personal.
It's not personal. Exactly. And that's one thing that is so great. So it's the same thing when you move here. For example, I just visited a friend and she showed me like everything around her was burned. Literally everything beside her house. Wow. It was, even the car in the driveway was melted. Jeez. And they had 9 helicopters on site to save the house. And they did. They managed to save the house.
Wow.
And I still get goosebumps. And it's like, you were so lucky. Oh my God. But it's hard to see that luck in that moment, because for them, they are still traumatized of the fact of sitting in the middle of the fire, not knowing where to go, what to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes this really might feel like this, even there is no fire there. But sometimes we feel like, oh my God, I don't know what to do tomorrow. I don't know what to do in the next moment. I feel so desperate. And I thought, here, everything's going to change.
Yeah. Yeah. That's extraordinary, that contrast, isn't it?
Yeah. And then, at the end, it's so beautiful to then take this moment and go within and ask yourself, so what is it? How can I distinguish this fire? Because responsibility, people seem to be so afraid of, but at the end, it's just the responsibility, the ability to respond to life. It's nothing more than that. And actually, it gives yourself so much more power about your own life decisions. And of course, at the beginning, we've had this topic here more often. At the beginning, it's so hard to say no. Ooh, it feels like, oh God, really? Do I need to? But then this is the only way really to create self-confidence and self-trust, in the sense of, I trust myself. I know I take the decisions that are good for myself. And it's not that you are rude by doing that to others, more the opposite, because the only way you can create an authentic relationship with anyone, with your neighbor, with your wife, with your kids, with the one that's working in the cafe next door, is if you are honest to yourself, and if you say if you don't like things. Tiny example, huh? Let's say my neighbor, he's really lovely, And he brings me every Sunday when he goes to the bakery, he brings me a little piece of cake. And because he likes cake. And then you're like, oh, yeah, thank you. That is really lovely. And after 3 times, you think, but I never eat that cake because I don't like it. So what am I going to do? I don't want to tell him because he's really nice that he's actually doing that. So, but what's the fact there? He's bringing you cake thinking that is super nice of him. You actually don't like it, don't know what to do with it. So he spends money on that. You basically throw it away because you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And at the end, you could just tell him, you know what? I so appreciate that you think about me and want to do me a favor by bringing me something sweet. Bare facts, I don't like the cake. But I really like you. So how about next time we use this euro, then I come with you and maybe we have a coffee together. Or how about I make some cookies for you that I really like, and then, you know, I show you the sweet things that I like. Or I'm much happier if you just pick me a flower if you want to bring me something. Or, you know what, I don't need any of that. I'm just so happy that you're my neighbor.
Yeah, yeah. And then you have a bonding possibility, don't you?
Absolutely. And then it's because so often we are drawn or dragged in these potential expectations people might have on us.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's all happening in our head. That's no one else's thing.
Yes, yes.
It's so interesting. And as we are all different, and that's the beauty of it, the only real way to find out whether some people have these expectations on you is to ask and to
Yes.
speak. There
Yes.
is actually this saying in German, I used to hate it, but it's true.
That's why. That's why you
exactly.
hate it, Jenny.
Exactly. And it's saying only speaking people can be helped.
Wow.
And it's true.
Yes.
Because you can't expect it. But that happens so often because we tend to be so much in the outside. So we are like, okay, can I do something? And always on the edge of, is everyone happy around me? Anything else that I can do to please somebody else? That is not helping you at all. Most of the time, it's not even helping the others because you're just stealing their crisis, basically.
Stealing someone's crisis. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Wow. Okay.
And that's actually a rude thing to do. That's nothing really to do with helping. We think we help them by protecting them of something that they will need to learn sooner or later anyway. So, you know, it's all these things that usually we help these people not to struggle because we can't deal with the consequences or the suffering that they have.
Yes.
But that means we take away the opportunity for them. So again, before you pack your bags and go wherever, whether you just go there the first time or you're thinking about going back, really think about just what Slug was saying. What is the poo bag in your pocket telling you now?
Yes. Well, thank you. Mic drop moment there. I have a few things I'd like to add, if I may, there, Jenny. Very
Please.
profound this morning because you're right. We did start off with some very, when we first used to speak, it was some very simple, you know, why not create a healthy boundary? Pretty hardcore stuff this morning, pretty challenging stuff. And it is meant in the best, it's meant with absolute love. I can tell you that from Jenny here. This is why, in my observation of you, you're so passionate and direct about this because it comes from a place of love for others, and it's, I think it's about also impacting the world, making the sort of world you'd like to live in. There isn't a load of old bullshit, and it's actually people being happy and being in happy relationships with each other. That's not a bad aim, if I've got that right.
No.
Okay, right. Well done, you. Well, gold star for that world impacting way of life of yours and way of speaking and communicating yourself there. Yeah, what came to mind when you were talking is, you know, we've got this that's that old cliche of like when you point outwards, there are 3 fingers pointing back, aren't there? That's very powerful. And the red string that you spoke about as well, you know, how we have a honeymoon period, don't we? And all great things in our lives. And then the hard work might begin after the honeymoon. And that's certainly how me and Mrs. M have been talking about this same work that we're talking about this morning. You know, is it a fling or is it a serious thing? Now, it can be both, can't it? But if you're endeavoring to make it a or let me just rhyme string with fling. First thing I want to say about the red string is it's a piece of elastic in actual fact, isn't it? Because you can get up some momentum, can't you? You can fly away in an aeroplane to a new country, and the red string just stretches quite nicely. And then it goes, as we know, if you talk to an astrophysicist or a physicist, there's something called the elastic limit, isn't there? But there's also the general nature of elastic, which is whoa, what the hell was that? It's just your red string catching up with you, kicking your ass. So yeah, and fling or serious thing. I think we may be speaking into a particular moment in people's time here in Portugal, where they are in the transition from honeymoon to the hard work and a long and happy marriage, a serious thing you might call it, and that we know is not easy work. From divorce figures, human beings aren't very good at this sort of stuff, and I think you're absolutely right with that German phrase. It's good to speak about it. He who can't speak can't be helped. This is really important. That's why we're speaking about it this morning. And the other thing that occurs to me, Jenny, if people are thinking, oh, this is so, here they go again, flipping at Carl and Jenny B on Feelgood Friday. Pull them out of their belly buttons, somebody. I'm not unhappy here in Portugal. I'm still in my honeymoon. I got myself a great house with a lovely view. I got a swimming pool, and I drink wine every night. And I go and have a pastel de nata at 11 o'clock every morning. And I've put on 10 kilos. And I drink every night. And I'm not unhappy. There may be some clues, right, in lifestyle. That there might be comfort eating. It might not just be that the wine, I've been in this myself. It might not just be that the Portuguese wine is very delicious and cheap. It might be that you're drinking that because some of this honeymoon thing is wearing off a little bit and turning into the hard work of a long and happy relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's very possible to keep honeymooning every now and then within a serious thing. But if you're bending over, doing up your shoelace and just tum-ti-tum, it's all fine. This honeymoon is going to last me the next 20 years. It might not, right, Jenny?
Yeah, it might not. Yeah, no, you're right there, and I love the way how you compared it there with the lifestyle, because that's one thing that I find very often, particularly within the expats, that so often you move, but at the end you just displace your actual life. So what you do is you continue with exactly the same things, just somewhere else. And actually, it's just like your body, and the whole life is. We're back to the language without words, the cosmic language. So there is constant interaction in your life that is actually speaking to you on a different level than words and language. Just like your body, for example. If there is something, and it might be just the tiniest miniculous things like, oh, my back is itching all the time. Oh, I don't know, I have this thing with my ankle. It's really these things. They are a bit disturbing, but not really impactful on the daily life. But they escalate. It's like stairs. So it becomes more and more and more when you're not listen and change something. So whatever is there in the outside or on your inside, let's say, that is discomforting, that's just a massive invitation for you to change something. And as a human being by nature, we are afraid of change. Only that comes from your mind, because your mind is there for you to survive. And your mind is pretty simple made. So it's like, all right, if I survive with this cup for so long, I'm going to stick with this cup. And I don't want any other cup because this is my lifesaver cup. Yeah. And all of a sudden this breaks. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die tomorrow because my life-saving cup has been gone. That's the sign. And it's funny because at the end of the day, once we went through the change, once we dared to make this one step, somebody told me once, and I love this saying, courage is fear plus one step.
Hey! Yes.
Yes, I love that one. And
Yeah.
fear can also be feeling excited and ready.
Yeah.
Because actually, it is this little bit of, okay, what's going on here? I don't know, but let's do it. It's actually the same feeling, just positively connected. When you, for example, pack your bags the first time to come over to Portugal, even thinking already about it eventually to move here, it's like so exciting. But that is actually also a form of fear.
Yes.
It's just differently because it has this little bit of positive notion to it.
Well said.
But
And
as soon
it's a step, isn't it? You're taking the step from where you are.
exactly,
Yes, yes, yes.
exactly. And afterwards, you can still decide, oh, you know what? That is a step I could have skipped in my life. But at least you did it. And you, whenever you are lying on the deathbed, you can tick the box off and go like, oh yes, I at least tried. So I always say, whatever you think about, just the slightest of doing in your life, just do it. Just give it this one attempt. Only for the fact of not being able to sit, to lie on your deathbed and thinking, I wish I would have tried this.
Yeah,
And let
indeed.
me remind you, nobody ever has been caught on deathbed saying, I wish I would have spent more time in the office. So please be aware of all that.
Definitely not Portuguese bureaucrats, right?
Not even the Germans.
Not even German bureaucrats wanted to spend
No.
more time. Oh, wait, well, okay. Well, then case closed. That's science rather than just speculation. Wow, amazing, Jenny. And yeah, I think you point to something really, really important there with this courage plus a step. Fear plus a step is what courage is. You had to and again, yeah, because it might sound like I've been sort of, having a bit of an expat bash this morning. Acknowledgement
No.
to all of you who make that step, like Jenny said. You did it. You came here, and kudos, props, whatever people say. Yes, well done, you. You did it. You did it. Now, interestingly, if you don't have another step once you've got here, you might return to the dead zone that you had in your first country that inspired you to want to move to Portugal. And there's something about human beings, isn't there, that this is ongoing. This, I think, is another shock to people who expatriate as a kind of final settlement in life. I'm going to have a dream home in a dream place with a dream lifestyle and a cheap cost of living, and that's it. Thank you very much. Like that's all, folks. Like Bugs Bunny cartoon. If you do the expats, that's all, folks. I'm done now. I can't see that after the first few months, years tops, would that would be in any way a satisfying or fulfilling proposition for a human being. And all the things that are given as the normal reasons for leaving or are upsets for expats, like missing family, loneliness, money issues, health issues, bureaucracy. There's a top 5, isn't there? There's probably a top 10. But those things weren't a problem when you had courage and were taking a step. You were ready to face those, weren't you? And then suddenly they become an issue again. And there's got to be something in that, hasn't there? Why, when those things weren't a problem when you were moving, why are they suddenly a problem now? I wonder. And therein lies a bit more of a clue. So we've only got about 10 minutes to go. I do want to include, as you know, Jenny, we get the most beautiful comments coming in when we're talking. So let's cover a few of those, and then we'll come back to you to summarize and say whatever else you want to say about this struggle of expatriation. And clearly, the light is at the end of the tunnel with this and other ways of thinking about it. So I'll come back to you for that. I know that the molecules in my body are traceable to phenomena in the cosmos. That makes me want to grab people in the street and say, hey, have you heard this? Please don't try that at home. I understand the sentiment there, Neil, but you could get yourself arrested for that. Okay, great video. Me do mad like that. So thank you for saying so. Amelie, visit Keljush, namely the palace, Sintra, the villa and monuments. That's a cosmic place, isn't it? The Sintra Palace. Quite extraordinary. And Lisbon, that'll keep you busy for several weeks. Absolutely right. Tyson is a great guy. The scientist, not the boxer, I think. I love watching his videos. And so, yeah, probably rebutting my earlier comments about Neil. And Bill, I love the idea that we can craft our moods. Mood crafting sessions. That'll be in room 2 along the corridor, please. 11 o'clock. Mood crafting with Jim White. Welcome. Come in. Please sit down. How are you? Yes, Jim. Carl Sagan, in my opinion, is one of the greatest humans of all time. There's something about Carl's, isn't there, James? He actually helped launch Neil deGrasse Tyson's life in astrophysics. There you go. How about that? Oh, yeah, don't forget HMB's O Amor. Yes, the greatest love song ever, according to Sarah. Joao F., the hero of last evening. Guten Morgen, liebe Jenny B. And hello, dear Gumpers. Joao, you're amazing last night. Isn't that nice to be told at any time in your life? You were amazing last night. Sintra is some 30 k's away from Lisbon, where there's the airport. There you go, Antonio F. To Moaz. The driver told me it wasn't really Sintra. He said Kasain, not Sintra. It just took 20 minutes from the airport. So that's where you are, Kasain. Hope it's all going well for you. You know where we are, Amelie, if you need anything. Great to see you last night, Joao. You were brilliant. Great to see you here as well. Yeah, that's the webinar. You didn't take a cab from the airport, did you? Because those cabbies are experts in ripping off the tourists. Little tip there from Antonio F. Thank you very much. Testimony to how we're all connected is how we're all being touched by this video. Indeed. Yeah, thank you, Slug, again for that. Hello, my dearest friend Michelle as well from Joao. And a testimony. Oh, yeah, we got that, Jim. Thank you very much for that. The best way to, oh, this is quite a tangent now, but it's quite useful, I think, to people. The best way to the airport is using the subway. We'll probably be able to make some sort of spiritual, emotional metaphor with this, of course. Best way to the airport is using the subway. There's a subway. Yes, the subconscious. Go into your subconscious. There's a subway station some 20 meters away from the airport. It's way cheaper. Yeah, good way to travel there. Cacti then for Joao F from Antonio. I wonder why. Prickly conversation. Not exactly Hotland, but hotter than hell. 100 is a 100-mile ride in Texas annually at the end of August. Biggest one-day bike event in America. Make sure you're hydrated. When son Matt and I finished, it was 44 degrees. How do you cope with that heat and exposure to the sun on a bicycle? You're crazy, you Yermans, honestly. Their enthusiasm for doing what they love is contagious. Absolutely. The astrophysicists there, they just know something, don't they? Okay, the universe just told me to smash the like button. Yes, thunder. Understanding the subtle language of the universe. Well said, mate. No. I meant that the expats in Dubai want to migrate to Portugal. Well, we've helped at least one couple do that, Expats Portugal. My God, I make so many mistakes in my comments. I can't see the keyboard. You're forgiven. So forgiven. You have no idea how forgiven you are, Moaz. I think the universe might have been saying, I love you and your heart, and don't forget to walk the dogs. I think that's to you, Jenny, there. I can't imagine on this matter. I can't imagine leaving Portugal and going back to the US. We found paradise here, and I will fight to stay. Yes, fortune favors the brave and the courageous, doesn't it, there? And in life generally, I think. Moving across cultures is an inside job. It's not Portugal, Portuguese, or the culture. It's coming to grips with our own inner voices about how we should be here and coming up short. How about that? It's true, isn't it? You know, it is Expats Portugal. We talk about Portugal, but ultimately, it's about the fingers are pointing inwards, aren't they? In anything we do, you know, we love it that we have the context of Portugal here, and it is among the best places, no question. As I said before, it's a great place to be unhappy, but it's an even better place to be happy if you can tick both the boxes. We had a good life in Texas. We always wanted to live here. And Jerry Garcia quote, I cannot forgive you if you will not take a chance. And that's the step forward, isn't it, Jenny? You know, you can't be forgiven if you don't put yourself in a position to be forgiven, if you like. And that is our lot as humans, isn't it? We've got to be active, it seems, for our own unfoldment. Just in the way that nature and the universe is unfolding, we need to take those steps forward as well, can't we? We can't settle. It doesn't work for us as humans. Happiness is a choice. It resides within, says James. You'll go without if you do not go within. Yes. Thank you very much. You get drunk, then you wake up with a hangover. Again, excellent advice. Okay. What's this? You already got two guys. Oh, this is with Michelle. Two guys fighting over it. Okay. I hope that ends well. May the best man win. Totally agree, Slug. Happiness is within. We are very happy in the States. We didn't run away. Yeah. Running away or running to. These are interesting distinctions. We followed a lifelong dream. Only regret is you didn't come here sooner. Yes, of course. Culture shock, says Jim, used to be defined as a loss of cues. I think now it's really more about who I am now who do I want to be and how do I go about it, and letting things emerge, not pushing the river. Jim, incredible source of inspiration for us as ever, and especially this morning. I also feel calm in nature, says Lisa. Autofill is worse than a spill chuck. Okay, not sure what that means. Love sandwich. What I like about you. Oh, okay. This is delivering your, I suppose, working on boundaries, isn't it? And telling something to somebody that they might not, you imagine they might not like, because you never know, do you? What I like about you, what the issue for me is, another thing I like about you. Here's your love sandwich. Who doesn't like a love sandwich first thing in the morning? I agree. You should not come to Portugal because you're escaping from something. Work on your issues first, then move to Portugal. All these issues will follow you. I suppose in the acknowledgement, Jenny, that you have got issues, you could start the process, right? I mean, if someone waits until all their issues are sorted out, they're probably not going to end up moving, are they?
No, and I mean, when you got the answer, life is changing the question, so there's always something to do.
Oh, yeah. When you've got the answer, life changes the question. It's hard being a human sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's also a matter of mindset, isn't it? You can look at it this way, and on the other hand, you can say, "Wow, all these opportunities I have in only this one lifetime. It's crazy."
Yeah, it's so true. But it's like it's a topless mountain, isn't it? You keep climbing, and you think the peak's just up there, and you keep going. And I was going to say this about community. You know, the great communities, and I think this is one of them, are the ones where we recognize that you just, you don't just show up because you're having a great time in Portugal. You can show up here when you're not having a great time, and we're here for you with all. If you're being an a-hole, if you're struggling, if you're unhappy, we wait, don't we? We're here for people, as well as loving to hear about all their high points and high notes and their honeymoon period. It's also about addressing what might not be working out so well, and that to me would be the mark of a great community. Weekends, fin de semana, a bit like rainbows. They look good from a distance, but disappear when you get. This is the same thing, isn't it? Thank you for that John Shirley quote. It is, isn't it? Like, enlightenment is like that, isn't it? Looks good from a distance. You feel like you're getting there. And it's like, hold on a minute. What? Huh? How about a show called On Being Expat Challenges, Issues and Opportunities, Tools, Techniques and Practices? Yes, Jim, Jenny's doing it every time she's here, and we're very happy to focus it in that way, in another environment or context, webinar perhaps. Honesty doesn't need to be brutal. It can always be compassionate and kind. Yeah, and there is an assumption, Jenny, isn't there, that we are going to hurt people. We're ripping the plaster off quick. It doesn't have to be like that, does it? And I suppose we're not very practiced at it. Might be part of the problem. Yeah, we don't do a lot of it, so it would be difficult at first.
Yeah, it's just nothing that we really learn somewhere, despite our own life experience. And I just said to a couple of friends a couple of days ago in a discussion, if you think about how your parents try to communicate or express emotions, holy cow! So this is where we learned. So sometimes it can be also really harsh once you're like, you have this notion, and you feel like, no, I need to say this now, and then sometimes it might come out really harsh and really a bit helpless in that sense, but it's been said, and that's the first thing, and that's good. And at the end, nobody will be mad with you. If they really love you, they might be a bit irritated, and that's fine. Give them the time, just like you, that you need to digest that. But it will get easier, like everything. Just imagine you would have stopped trying to walk the first time you fell on your knees as a child. You would still be crawling along.
It's too dangerous to stand up and walk. I'll crawl, thank you, through the rest of my life. Yeah, it is fascinating, isn't it? Owning stuff is important, isn't it? I mean, the key is honesty, transparency, and vulnerability. The problem, I suppose, in the way that some people look at radical honesty is that it's like, okay, I've got something to say. Look, you're an asshole, basically, and okay, I've said it now. Okay, bye. That's probably not the way to do it. That is honesty of a kind, but you're not really owning your own part in that, are you? How you occur to me is this: something that you said. I chose to feel this way about it. I'd like to talk to you about that. There are better ways than just finger pointing and thinking that is honesty and it's going to help. It might not. Stick
Yeah.
around to clear up the mess. That is the great message from Radical Honesty and Brad Blanton. Stick around to clear up the mess. Good morning. Good morning to you, Jacqueline, who's here. And she's saying, thank you, Jenny. To you, Jenny. Universal truth can be and is often confronting. It's pushing us out. If you're made of star stuff, remember that while you're being pushed out there and being confronted, it's pushing us out of our default beliefs and that life-saving mug scenario that Jenny talked about. Life is not a scheduled list of events and achievements, says Joao. Life is what you decide to do with it, make choices and live with it. Do not waste 2 seconds being sorry for the decisions and choices you haven't made. Otherwise, your life will be nothing but a bunch of regrets. Thank you, Joao. That's a great idea. I don't think the challenges and issues are discussed on Facebook groups, blogs, or YouTube. There's a lot of moaning goes on, doesn't it, in Facebook groups and blogs, YouTube. But actually getting to grips with it with some real suggestions and a look at what's really going on, like Jenny does here. I think we are a bit light on that. It's almost like the expats feel they are betraying Portugal if they do. Very good point, Moaz. Yes, I'm guilty of that. And T-Duck makes the point. One of the Carl's most viewed videos. It's not one of mine. It's Expats Everywhere. They did one with me. They interviewed me. And then the even bigger one of Mrs. M's chats with them, what he didn't tell you. The title, the clue is in the title. And she's had hundreds of thousands of views of that video. So you're absolutely right, Moaz. Give a man to a fish and he has food for a day. Teach him how to fish and you can get rid of him for the entire weekend. Yes. Brilliant. You're right. Everyone wants to highlight the highlights. Yes. Well, that stops here. I'm going to be much more balanced in my... I did think I was betraying Portugal by speaking badly. I have access to a wider brief and grasp of this conversation now. So remember where you heard that first. Fling or serious thing, great way to think about post-honeymoon phenomenon. Yep, absolutely. We made a little video on that. And to you, look. Ich lasse mich immer von dir bewundern. What does it say in there?
I guess he means he's always enchanted by me.
Oh, very nice. A very excellent little phrase to write there. In my experience, declaring not to be something is generally a statement of fearing you are it. Interesting. And when we truly are something, we do not need to declare it. We've had moments in all our lives, haven't we, where we haven't needed to vocalize it because it just comes out of us. That is universal language coming out of us, isn't it? And people can see for themselves. It's not hype. That is there is the Jenny B right there. She is the real McCoy, the real thing. What she says, she does. We know when that's happening. Okay, there are two things in life, people and stuff. The stuff doesn't count. My grandpa, how lovely. Shout out to Grandpa. Regrets are nearly always about what we did not do rather than we did do. Occasionally they are about what we did do, but yes, I think you're generally right there. Read the 40% of Yanks leaving. Wasn't loneliness a big factor? I think it is. And there's definitely something we can do about that. Even the smallest changes in our daily routine can create incredible ripple effects that expand our vision of what is possible. Charles F. Glassman via T-Duck. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Half in a marriage, it's 2 times 100%. Okay, so it's one part of two messages, I think. In a marriage, it's 2 times 100% individuals sharing a life, not relying on one on the other to complete them. They are there to support and enable the other to always be there 100%. And we're talking about codependency there, aren't we? Jenny, do you think it's possible to have a codependent relationship with a country?
With anything. You can have a codependent relationship with your pencil or the life-saving mug, don't forget it.
Yes, indeed, the life-saving mug available now from All Goods.
Available now
in our merch range. A woman on a I mean, we're going to sell a lot of those if people believe they are a life-saving mug.
We have lots of life-saving items.
Yes, everything. It's all life-saving stuff at lifesavingstuff.com. A woman on a Facebook group told us a story about a car rage incident where her husband was badly hurt. So many jumped down her throat. This happens everywhere. Stuff. Yeah. Interesting. She needed support and she wasn't critical of Portugal. That's right. There are expat virtue signalers who won't have anything bad said about Portugal. And I've done this myself. It's just Portugal. Get with the program. That just stands on people's feelings and you're not going to help them by doing that. If they've got a beef and they're not over it yet, and you just say, oh, it's just the Portuguese way of life, you need to get with the program. Is what I would say to that. Okay, carrying on then here with Francis. If you expect a move to be something that is a destination that ends all problems, you'll soon be let down because nothing is perfect. If you're not content with where you are, you may not be anywhere else. Oh my goodness, word. I felt bad for her. I hope you went to her aid, Moaz, and told her about our community. Thanks, Carl. Quoting Carl, be Portuguese about it. Don't worry about what could have been. Instead, plan your life the Portuguese way, said Joaf. Improvise. That's the whole thrill of it. Yeah. I think some Americans come here for permanent vacation and never make Portugal their home. At some point, they just want to go home. Yeah. And that's the honeymoon part of it, I think, isn't it? Just a few more comments then, and then over to Jenny for a final summation and conclusion this morning. As a variant of Freud's cigar moment, what's that? Different to Bill Clinton's, sometimes the destination just isn't the right destination for you. Okay, yes, very good. Did he take a big sort of puff on his cigar and utter that? You'll see, as a problem is this. Was that Freud? Was that good enough? Remember to fondle the like button, dear Gumpers. Bon fin de semana. And yes, we've had that just back from dinner. Wow. With which man? That said, move and marriage take a first step and commitment to make the most of it. Well said, Francis. Great stuff. Thank you for that. Compassionate and kind honesty is something I do see in the Portuguese way of being. Forgive me for perhaps being biased about this. You're completely forgiven, Joaf. And yes, we agree. How to tell the truth without blame and judgment. Yes, thank you, Jim. That's a smart way of saying what I rambled on about there. Life is not a travel brochure. Thank you, Carl and Jenny, for an enlightening Friday. Bon fin de semana. I always love Friday mornings with you, Jenny says. James, so nice to see you, Jenny says. Jim, it is not speaking badly about Portugal. It's being honest about your experience of it. Yes, well said. And the other thing Freud said, apparently, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Yeah, sometimes the cigar is just a cigar, you see. Was that a good enough Freud impersonation? I don't think so, yeah, by the look on your face, Jenny. So, yes, Francis, why was that not to be found in the instruction leaflet of marriage? Where did we put the instruction leaflet for marriage, relationships, and life, Jenny? Final word with you.
I loved what has been said with all of it, but to finalize that bit with maybe it's just not your destination, because as a human being, so often we think when we decide this decision is into the rest of my life. And that's not true. You're free to go again. You're free to come here, go wherever, and then you're free to leave if it's just not working for you. And that counts for everything. Whether you drive a car and decided you go for a BMW, and next time you think actually the Vauxhall did it just perfectly, or whether you go for the Good Morning Portugal and never want to have any other cup ever again.
Yes.
But generally speaking, it's great to have these goals in life that you think, yes, one day I want to live in Europe, I want to live in Portugal. But that doesn't mean that you need to stay here forever, because at the end, there is no brochure that comes with it. So you don't know whether you really like it or not. And then it's absolutely okay if you don't like it and it's not working for you. And you're free to go wherever without having to be ashamed about it, without blaming yourself for everything, because at the end, you can still praise yourself, like we said, that you at least tried it. And you can tell now, you know what, I thought it will be so great, and I've made the experience, and I've enjoyed it till this point, and then I've decided it's time to move on again. And that is really, life is there to be fun. It's an adventure. It's not meant to be a torture. So please allow yourself, as soon as it's not working out anymore, have that introspection and then check, okay, what is there that I can change on the in and on the outside for it to work better. And if that's leaving again, that's completely fine. So often it is really being honest to oneself without the bloody judgment that we keep on putting into it about anything. Just no judgment. It is what it is, and that's fine.
Yeah. Well said. Can we have a final blowing of the bubbles to bless everyone as they go into their weekend?
Chorus!
Here we go. Jenny B, thank you so much. A bon fin de semana to you. Lots of love to you. And a muito bem from Philomena as well there. There you go. You get a big old muito bem and a big old round of applause. Jenny B, Thank you so much. We're going to go out with an answer phone message that came in and the whistling theme tune. Take care, everybody. Bye for now. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Jenny B. Ciao for now. Oh, hold on a minute. That one. We're going to come back to the whistling. Go on, Jenny.
I've sent you the poem. Maybe you want to put it on for.
I will put that on the screen
jingle.
as well. Okay, I'm struggling with this new jingle player that we've got on StreamYard here, but I think I've got it now. Jenny B, thank you so much. Bye for now.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Bom dia, alegria. Deagle here from Belfast. Hope you're all having a good day, Gumpers. And remember, every day is a Gumpers Day. Ciao, ciao.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Bom dia, alegria. Deagle here from Belfast. Hope you're all having a good day.